everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Saturn, and today I will be discussing my heart condition, which is called Hypoplastic left heart syndrome, or HLHS. So before I start with my list of things I've been through with it, with how my life has pretty much evolved around it, I have a quick diagram. So basically, what this means is that blood that has no oxygen comes in through this valve down into the right atrium and the right ventricle, and then it goes up through the pulmonary artery and into the lungs. And the lungs give it oxygen, so then it comes back through the pulmonary veins and then into the left atrium and what should be the left ventricle. However, mine is gone. So what they had to do to fix this is I had to have 3 open heart surgeries. But first, to catch it, nowadays they can find it while the fetus is in the womb. However, back when I was born, that wasn't really a thing. So I actually almost died because no one caught it. Everything looked pretty good, and then like the day my parents were supposed to leave with me, a nurse saw that my color was kind of off. So instead of me being pinkish, normal skin color, I was grayish bluish. So they did tests and they found out that I have this big piece of my heart missing, which helps my body get oxygen. And if you can't already tell, I am already out of breath, and it's been 2 minutes. Thanks, heart condition. So to catch it, they had to do 3 open heart surgeries. The Norwood, Byglen, Fontan. Now, this was just one big surgery cut down into 3 stages so that my body and my heart will get a chance to rest. Like every major surgery that has to happen in stages. So what this did was basically just move my heart around to make it so that one part of my heart that had to do one function now has to do both. So it's very weird. I'm not gonna go into it. It is way too much information. My brain cannot handle it. I had to do a speech on it for class, and God, I hated it. So I have had some pretty weird moments in my life, I shall say. First of all, I had my first surgery at 6 days old, my second one at 7 months old, and my third one at 2 years old. A lot of people are surprised that I haven't had any more surgery since then. But, there's really no point to it unless my heart starts to fail and I need a heart transplant. But with these surgeries, everything's pretty good for me. No complications really. I have weird palpitations, but I mean, that's normal for everyone. Mine are just weirder and more frequent. And trust me, before you run into the comments and say, "Oh, Saturn, that's not right," I have asked my doctor recently, and he said, "Yeah, that's normal for her." So it's normal. I'm fine. So from after those surgeries until I was in kindergarten, I usually would just go down to my grandma's store. She had a clothing store while my mom worked, and I honestly had a blast there. I would just talk to everyone who I could get near. I would try to follow them into the dressing rooms. I would hide in glass casings and act like I was stuck. And yeah, I would literally just sit down, cardboard table with ramen noodles, and watch PBS all day, and that's all I did. So when I got to kindergarten, I had a weird pain when what I said was my stomach, but kids and their anatomy, they don't know stuff. So what I said was my stomach, and I said, "It hurts here, that's my heart. And I'm the type of person that if someone tells me they're busy, I won't bother them again. So when I went up to my teacher and said, hey, my stomach hurts, she just said, well, I'm busy, I can't talk right now. And so I'm like, okay, well, bye. So I left it alone. And thank everything that my mom actually came to get me for just a regular checkup, because what actually happened was I had mysteriously had fluid around my heart. To this day, I still don't know what that was or what happened. When I got to the hospital, I stayed overnight and they said that it just went away. So, so I don't know what it was. I don't know the diagnosis. It's not in my chart anywhere. I have no idea what that was. But everything was fine, so sweet. Also, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. If I did, I'm sorry. But I have notes. I have awful memory. So in order to get everything that I want to say down, or just say in video, I have to write it down. So what this also meant for me was that I couldn't play any sports or be in band. I couldn't do any like physical activity. So I was in t-ball when I was little, but that was literally not anything big. I was going to play clarinet in 5th grade, and then my cardiologist was like, no way are you doing that. Because even just talking right now, I don't have the breath. I can't imagine playing clarinet. So that was the thing. Another thing that happens is whenever I would have to run the mile, instead of 4 laps around the baseball field, I'd only have to run 2, which was half a mile. And one time in 7th or 8th grade, I was sick and stupidly decided to just try my absolute best at running the mile. So obviously I was not okay. I went back into the gym and I had to lay down, and I freaked out my teacher so bad. He immediately called my mom, and she basically just went, oh yeah, she's fine, don't worry. So literally all I had to do was just lift my feet like over my head just to get the blood back into my body and just regulate it. So that happened a lot, actually. It happened if I stood too long. So at work, I would if I was working and I couldn't sit or something, it would happen. I did a wax museum and I almost passed out from it. I just have to I just cannot stay in one spot, and I can't overexert myself. I know my limits, but that day I was not having it. And I think it's obvious, but with HLHS, your oxygen is always going to be low. Like I said, the left ventricle helps move the oxygenated blood through the entire body. So without that, it is a pain in the ass to get oxygen. I'm struggling right now. My normal oxygen is around 84, 88-ish. And for someone who has a full 4-part heart, it's usually around like 95. So if you have a normal heart and your oxygen is below 90, please go to the ER. But for me, it's fine. If I get sick, it'll dip down to the 70s, and they're like, yeah, just rest. So I'm not on oxygen or anything, even though I think I maybe should. I remember being on oxygen once in my life, and that is a story for another time. Another thing that would happen is that if I was sick, if I get a cold, I'm useless. I cannot do anything. Everything hurts. I cannot breathe. I breathe less. So what happened one time was I was being checked out of school because I was sick and my mom had to take me somewhere. I don't remember what happened, but my friend's been in the office with me, and I said, it feels like a cold. And my friends just absolutely lost it. They were saying things like, really, you're going home for a cold? Really? I've been here with the flu before, whatever, shit like that. And my mom whips around and just chews them out, because if I get a cold, I can't function and my heart has to overwork more than it already is. So I was constantly kind of like bullied slash just made fun of for not being around a lot if I was sick. So that was cool. I had a scare one time with my heart and liver. If you don't know, the heart is directly above the liver, and when it pumps, it puts pressure on the liver, and then when it contracts, I don't know terminology. I know I was in med school, but I don't know anything. I dropped out today. But basically, the liver would get a chance to breathe when the heart gets a chance to breathe. But since my heart has to constantly pump and overwork itself, my liver never gets a chance to rest. So now I have fibrosis of the liver. I always get fibrosis and cirrhosis mixed up, but I have one of those. It's a lot of scar tissue. So I was having a scare, and all of my friends were kind of saying I was faking it almost, and I was back then I was absolutely just pissed off, but now I look back and I'm like, how am I supposed to fake my body shutting down? Like, I don't know. It's funny to me now. I think the last thing I want to mention is that I have a lot of scars. My chest kind of comes inward. If I wasn't so insecure, I maybe have like a bikini pic to show you. But anyway, I have a chest scar from right here all the way down to like under my ribs, I will say. And other than that, I have breathing tube scars. So literally my entire chest is just covered in scars, and it is not fun having to go somewhere and people stare and go, "Oh, what's that?" Thank you for reminding me that I have a heart problem. Love that. So I think that's basically it. That's pretty much my life, is just having some weird thing happen to me. I get into arguments. It's fine, it's stress, and I go home, repeat. The reason I dropped out of school actually was because I was so stressed. I started to have I don't want to say it because I think YouTube still censors it, but if you watch Game Grumps, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, I had those kind of symptoms. My oxygen was dipping into the 70s. I had really awful heart palpitations. It was scary, but I got tested for anything and everything. They said everything looked fine. My oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in my blood looked okay. It was pretty much fine, so I decided it's stress. So I stopped doing my schoolwork, and now I feel fine. I'll get random heart palpitations here and there, but it's normal for me, so that's my life. But if anything I want to give out of this video, it is that if you know someone who has this heart condition, be gentle on them. Be nice. And also, everyone is so different. Don't go to someone who has this and immediately use my story to them, because trust me, it is not the same. I don't think I know one person who has the exact same history with everything than I do. Like, someone either has a different kind of surgery, or they have a different thing put in. Like, I have a overflow valve, so it's literally like a hole in my heart. it's weird. It's always different. So be nice to people with these. There's a lot of people out there who have it, and you literally would never know unless they either tell you or you see their scars when they're swimming or something. So I think that's all I wanted to get out of it, was just be nice. So I think that's it. If you have any questions about it or anything in general, please feel free to ask. I don't think I am very uncomfortable with anything. And also, I will leave a link. I will probably leave links for Mayo Clinic, so then you can read all about the surgeries. And I will also leave a link to show the diagram better than I did, because God, it's messy. So I hope you enjoyed this.